guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build. In today's video we are building two townhouses side by side, and this was inspired by a picture of a San Francisco style townhouse that I had seen, and I really wanted to try and build it. It was actually my boyfriend that sent me the picture and challenged me to see if I could build it. And it wasn't actually until after I had started building it, I tried to find more pictures to see what the roof looked like and what it looked like from different angles, and I realised it's actually a picture of the house from Full House, I think. So I don't think that was a thing in the UK, so I think it's an American TV show, but yeah, so I ended up accidentally building the house from Full House, basically. But I had a lot of fun doing these, and I basically built them with two different Sims in mind. So the Sim that you can see standing on the street here is a student, and she's currently applying for scholarships and stuff to enroll in Brightchester. So the left-hand townhouse is her student accommodation. It's very nice student accommodation. I did not live anywhere like that when I was a student, but yeah, she's decorated it really modern, and it's really I guess young, and lots of light and space, and I really like how she's decorated it. That's probably more how I would decorate it if I lived somewhere like this. And then the right hand side townhouse is for an older Sim. I pictured an older woman who has lots of cats. Her bedroom has two pet beds that are bigger than her bed, so I figured she's got lots of cats, and hers is the back bedroom, and then the front bedroom is for her grandkids. I made that really fun, and I made that make-believe bunk beds, so they're not functional, but they look like bunk beds, so I've never done that before. That was quite fun. And yeah, just building two lots on the same, or two houses on the same lot was quite tricky and different for me, but it was really fun actually, and I really liked having two identical floor plans, but decorating them really differently. And I was thinking it might be a good idea to do an opposite roommates type of build, so I think it was SimLicy did one where she did or has done a couple where she's done an apartment, but then has the two Sims complete opposites. I think that's quite cool. So that was kind of similar to this, and I might do that at some point. And yeah, so I'm just working on the outside of the build here, and as I say, I was basing it from a picture, so I was trying to get it as close as I could on the outside, and I initially started with bay windows that come in the game. And then I ended up deciding that I didn't like how they looked, so I made my own just by using diagonal walls, and they looked much better. The bay windows in the game are cute, but they just weren't really what I was going for. So yeah, it took me a while to get the outside right, but I actually really enjoyed building these because they're a bit different rather than just a suburban house. And I feel a lot of the time recently I've been building really modern houses, so doing something that was a bit older was really nice to do actually as a change, and has kind of inspired me to do some different builds. So I really enjoyed doing something different here, and even using these roof pieces. I would never use roof pieces this shape normally, so I was definitely branching out a little bit, which was cool. And yeah, so I guess I've got my boyfriend to thank for sending me the picture and sort of giving me the challenge of building something. Honestly, I might start a bit of a series of either a boyfriend decides my builds, or let you guys decide what I'm going to build. Maybe submit pictures on Twitter or something, and then I could build them. I think that would be quite fun. But yeah, so I was trying to decide the outside, the colour on the outside here, and you can see initially these are way too bright. This is not the colour I was going for. I wanted pastel kind of colours. So in the end I toned them down a little bit to a pale blue and a pale yellow, because these are far too bright. This is not what I was going for at all. And yeah, because I didn't have much space, I was using these debug sort of garden pieces to try and make little flower beds, and I had to do some hiding them under the building and hiding them with some plants, so they're not perfect, but because we can only draw fences a tile wide and not they have to snap to the grid, I only had a little sort of strip of land in between the garage door and the staircase, so I couldn't build a full fence. So I did what I could with them. The only issue is if more than half of the piece is under the build, then it goes dark, it's shadowed. So I was really trying to be careful about where I was placing things, but I think it looks cool in the end. And then I was putting lots of trim and things. So again, these columns and the little spandrels and the trim around the different levels. I never really use these sort of features, because they just don't really go with the builds that I do normally. So as I say, I got to use a lot of different elements that I wouldn't normally get to use, so I quite enjoyed that. And then we're working on the floor plan here, as you can see, and I've made them exactly the same floor plan, so they're both exactly the same layout inside. It's just the furnishing that I changed up a little bit between the two. But I figured that if they were built at the same time by the same people, they would probably be the same floor plan. They'd maybe be mirrored, but because the doors are on the same side, I just built them exactly the same. I know at least where I am, if there's a whole group of houses built at the same time, they're normally pretty identical inside. So I wanted to really play on the fact that the houses are really exactly the same. It's just the people that are different. So as I say, the floor plan is identical, same room, same layout. It's just that they're decorated differently. So it's really like the decorating where this gets interesting. This floor plan did take me a little while, and I will admit, this first bit that you're seeing here of building the sort of shell, I did quite a few days ago, maybe even over a week ago. And I was planning on making them like dorms. So I had 2 bedrooms upstairs and 2 bathrooms, and then a bedroom and a bathroom in the basement. And I had the university lockable doors with the peepholes. And I was planning on having, so you could have like 6 student Sims live in these 2 houses, and it would technically be like 1 student household. But after I thought about it and I came back, I was really wanting to build for like an older lady with her cats. So then I had the idea to do like the two different builds. So you'll see like the upstairs I initially make as like 2 bedrooms and 2 big bathrooms, so each room would have its own bathroom. And then in the basement I made the same. And then when I came back yesterday or the day before to actually finish the build, I changed my mind about that. So you can see here I'm placing like the university doors and stuff. And then I just went back on that when I went back in and changed it. And I actually gave the modern house the cats and dogs, I think, the like panel doors that I use in all of my builds. And then I used older doors in the right hand one because I figured maybe when the left hand one was renovated, they had updated the doors and stuff. So I was trying to think of like these little details. And I ended up giving them both. I tried to give them both a proper mailbox outside, and then I realised that the game doesn't let you do that. So you can see there's 2 mailboxes. And when I tried to get her, it was just by accident, I was trying to get her to apply for scholarships at the mailbox because I hadn't furnished the houses yet. So she didn't have a computer or anything. And it wouldn't let her click on the mail, or it would let me click on the mailbox, but then the sim would just cancel the action. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong. And then when I deleted one of the mailboxes, it worked. So I think obviously if you have 2 mailboxes on a lot, the game freaks out and doesn't like it. So I figured like they would both have their own mailbox, obviously. So what I ended up doing was I put the actual mailbox over on the left-hand side of the lot, so it's not as obvious. And then I gave them both the apartment mailboxes on the front of the houses, which I thought maybe in a house like that you would have like a little mailbox on the front door. And it's closer to, I guess, what we would have in the UK. These are really like San Francisco style townhouses. These are not like British homes, but we wouldn't have a mailbox like that. We'd have a letterbox in the door. So yeah, I figured having the apartment style mailbox like up beside the front door was maybe more realistic anyway. And I don't know if they'll be functional or not. I don't think they will be. But yeah, as I say, when I had 2 of the actual mailboxes, it wouldn't work. So there's that. There's a thing when you're building kind of 2 lots or 2 houses on the one lot that you have to. The game doesn't like certain things. And then even here, I wanted to put plants outside the front doors, but I changed them up. So again, the more modern build has more modern plants, and then the older build has like the traditional sort of, what are they called? Like topiary, like the bushes. So yeah, I was just trying to really like reflect the personalities. And so you can see here I'm deleting the kitchen. So I had started decorating them identically. And then this is the footage from when I came back the other day and furnished them. And I decided that I wanted to do one modern and one traditional. So I was just bulldozing or sledgehammering away the kitchens. And then I used the Jungle Adventure counters, obviously, and kind of shelves. And I felt like initially when I decorated these, I had put cabinets, floor cabinets all the way around, and then I had put wall cabinets all the way around. And because of the size and the shape of the kitchen, it was super dark. And I wasn't a fan of that at all. Like, it was way too dark. So I ended up not really using many wall cabinets. And instead I used the Jungle Adventure shelves. Like, I think they're like called like the Selva Dorada shelf, something like that. And you get like furnished ones or like decorated and undecorated ones. So I was doing lots of move objects, lots of like trying to use various cheats to get to clutter the kitchen up as much as I could, but still have it look clean. So I guess I wanted it to look realistic in that the shelves have stuff on them, but not messy, if that makes sense. So the ones on the right hand wall there are the furnished ones that come with like the little, I think it's like a little jug or like a kettle or something, and like glasses. And the ones I use on the left-hand walls are the empty shelves that I then decorated. And what you'll see is I actually use the red shelf to decorate these. And I've always used the red shelf, like I just place the red shelf on all the shelves I want to decorate. And then for those of you that haven't used it, you will see that when you can use the design tool and make them clear. So they have like two stages. So you can see that I've just made them all clear. And then you can't see them. So they're there, you can place stuff on them. It gives you all the slots, but they're invisible. The issue is that this then shows up that your game has custom content in it, because obviously it has this shelf. Even though you can't see it, it shows up as a custom content like build, which is really annoying because then they don't show up in the gallery and stuff. And I just happened to be watching another SimLicy video while I was building. I just had her channel like just on playing, so I was watching loads of her videos, and I noticed that she had a move object tutorial, and I like to think that I'm pretty up to speed with move objects. Like I've played for a long time and I generally know what I'm doing with like building, I like to think. But things like the red shelf and the tool mod and things, I'm still learning. And she was explaining that when she uses the red shelf, what she does is places it at the right height beside what she's furnishing. She then puts the objects onto the shelf so they're the right height, and then clicks them again and sort of drags them onto the shelf or wherever she's placing them. Because if you just try and put things on the ground, and a lot of things don't snap to a shelf, and if you just use the 0 and 9 keys to raise them up and down, sometimes they're either like cutting into the shelf and like clipping, or they're floating, which is really annoying because you can't be that specific about how like high or low you make things. So one option I guess is to use tool mod, or you can use this shelf. So I'd never really figured that out, but yeah, basically you use it to set the height of the object, and then you can drag it and alt place it wherever you want. So when I was building here, I just have the shelves there and I made them all invisible. And I actually went back while I was editing the video. I went back just a while ago today and went in and actually deleted all the shelves. And I did some more cluttering, and it actually looks much better the second time. I was getting really frustrated. I was doing this quite late at night, just this first bit of the kitchen, and I was like, I can't place any more debug stuff. I can't scroll through debug any longer. So I just kind of gave up, and then I went back today and I deleted all the red shelves out. So there's no custom content in this build anymore, and I managed to like sort of do a better job of cluttering up the shelves in the kitchen. So I'm happy with how it came out in the end, and I even did a trick. I'm going to post a picture on Twitter, but I managed to do the trick with the coffee cups of like angling them so they look like they're hanging along the bottom of the shelf above the coffee machine. And I've seen quite a few people do that, and I figured it would be super complicated. And it actually wasn't too bad. Now that I'm starting to grasp the tool mod a bit more, it was easier. And learning that you have to do things in like the tiniest increment, and not like putting too big an increment in, because then things just jump all over the place. So I'm getting there. But yeah, SimLicy's video is definitely were a big help, and her builds are all amazing. But just some things that I feel like I've been using it wrong the whole time. And you can do that. Like it has an option, a swatch to make it invisible, so that you can build with it like that. But it does flag as CC. So if you're just doing it for your game and you're not going to upload it on the gallery, it's probably faster just to put the shelf wherever you want it. But if you're planning on sharing them, then definitely do it that way. And what I'll maybe do is link that video in the description in case you want to go and check it out. It's a really useful tutorial, and the way she set it up is great. She's got all the kind of little rooms set up in advance so she can show you various tricks. So I found that really, really helpful, and I'll definitely link that below for you guys if you want to check it out. And yeah, so I'm doing the same thing here. I'm cluttering these shelves up, and again I put the red shelf down, and even then things weren't placing where I wanted them to, so I went back in again today and deleted the red shelf from here. It is a great tool, but it's I guess just how you use it. Sometimes it is easier just to sort of raise and lower things, but only if they land at the right point. So yeah, I was trying to build like a kind of minimalist sort of rustic living room space, and I used this like console table from Eco Lifestyle for the first time. I've never seen it before. I don't know where it's been hiding in the in the build by catalogue, but I like that it's so skinny, because I really just wanted to be big enough for the TV and not, it's quite a narrow living room. So I didn't want it to take up like too much space, and yeah, it's really cute. So I'll use that again. Sometimes you like just see stuff for the first time that's been there all along, but you've just never noticed it before. So yeah, I was just having a lot of fun, like kind of cluttering the shelves and stuff. And definitely, this was the next day, and I was definitely feeling a bit more like up for it. I was over the pain of scrolling through debug at midnight, so I was definitely happier to do some cluttering. And you'll see there, in the middle shelf there, what I had done is I did have the red shelf on, and then the things just weren't snapping right. So I ended up actually deleting it and then just raising them up and alt placing them, and they actually ended up better. So sometimes you're better to not use it, but if you're at a point where the object that you're putting things on is just not quite the right height, for example, like on top of a fridge, if you try and just use the 9 key to raise it above the fridge, it always floats a little bit. It's like the fridge the height of the fridge doesn't meet where the slots are for raising and lowering objects, so that's where the shelf comes in quite handy. And I think that's kind of how they advertise it. Like when you go to the page to download it, there's a picture of like the shelf on top of a fridge. But I've always just put the shelf on there and then made it see-through. Which I'm actually just thinking, while I'm doing this voiceover, I'm looking at that kitchen and realising that I haven't put a fridge in that kitchen, I don't think. And I think I've already uploaded it to the gallery. So I might have to go back and put a fridge in there somewhere. I've just realised that I didn't put one. I'm like looking at it thinking that kitchen looks weird and there's no fridge in it. So that's why. This is why doing voiceovers is kind of good, because then you watch your build back and go, I'm missing things in here. So I'm working on the upstairs now of this build. And as I said, initially I had it built as like 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms for students. And I ended up making it more just this was her house. So I made it 2 slightly bigger bedrooms and then just 1 bathroom. And I'm trying to get smarter at, like, you'll see here I'm going up and down a lot. I'm trying to use the eyedropper tool more. I spend way too much time like scrolling through the menu trying to find things. Whereas actually, like, if I want the same floor in all the bathrooms, I might as well just copy it. So I'm trying to like be smarter, and I'm trying to also use like the keyboard shortcuts more. So for like going up and down or like walls up and down, normally I would always use the controls, but I'm trying to use the keyboard more. Although it's that kind of thing, I think a lot of people just use the keyboard shortcuts, but I never really took the time to learn them, I guess. So it's definitely faster building when you can use the shortcuts. And yeah, so I'm working on the bedroom here, and I'm using this eco lifestyle bed again. I love it. I love the little like knot cushion. I think it's so cute. And the room's not super wide, so I wanted the bed to be centred with the bay window, but then I couldn't fit bedside tables. So I ended up using shelves, which is an old trick but a favourite, that just put a shelf and then I put these little lamps on again. These are university lamps, I think, and I haven't seen these before, but these are really nice. And I thought they went perfectly with like the blue colour scheme. And so I just like put the shelves and hid them underneath the bed and then put little lamps on them. And then they don't take up any space because it's just so narrow. Even when I went through and tried to find like the smallest bedside table, it wouldn't fit, and then the bed was going to be off centre and I just couldn't deal with that. So that's what I did with the shelves instead. And then some sort of big wall decorations. I really wanted this to be quite like eco rustic, like not super modern, like modern but not all white, I suppose. And then in the bathroom, I used the Discover University shower. I haven't actually play tested this, but they're not in the way of each other, so there's no reason why that shower wouldn't work. I know you can have a 2-tile bathroom where you have the toilet, the sink, and then the shower in the middle, and the sim can use the shower. So I don't imagine that shower is going to block anything because it doesn't really take up any tiles, but I was trying to fit. I didn't want a shower. I don't love the shower tub combos, honestly, that we have. I really need some more like modern options. I hate the ones with the curtains on them. I just don't like shower curtains in real life, so I don't like shower curtains in the sim. So I don't always like to use the combos, especially not in a modern bathroom. And I didn't have space to do anything else, so I just chucked the shower in there. But I made sure that the taps are all at that brass colour, like bronze. So the bath, the shower and the sink all have the same colour of like fixtures. So at least they look like they're part of a set, I suppose, because you wouldn't realistically have different coloured, taps and stuff in your bathroom. So I was trying to do that, and then I will say I'm quite proud of this bit. So in this spare bedroom, I had an idea for these shelves, and then I was trying to think about how I could make vertical pieces. And so I did some tool mod magic, and it worked like pretty much straight away. So you can see here I'm like manually moving them over, which took a bit of time. And then on the other side, I figured if you put the items pivot on their center point. So if you put them, the center's in the right place, when you turn them, they'll still be in the right place. I don't know how I'm explaining that well or not at all, but that's one of the best things I've managed to do with the tool mod so far, and it's so basic. But like a few months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I just didn't understand how it worked. Whereas now I'm understanding it, like for rotation, there's 3 different axes that you can use, and it's done in degrees. So if you want to rotate it that way, I did 90 degrees and it was like fine. So it's trying to figure out, like trying to understand the like physics of how it works, I suppose. And also it's been updated now, so you can, if you alt and click, you can like gravity pull things towards you or away from you. And that's way easier, because before you would just click and hope that it jumped to the right place. So definitely it's been updated and there's some improvements coming. And I don't know if you've seen, but I think that Twisted Mexi, who creates the tool mod, who is probably single-handedly saving The Sims 4, has also come up with a new build by catalogue. And I want to say that they've implemented a thing where you can like clone debug stuff. So the debug things just come up in the build by. You don't have to just scroll through debug. He's actually like cataloguing them into the right. So if you're looking for like, I don't know, like a plant that's in debug, it'd be in plants. So you don't have to just aimlessly scroll. And then I think you can clone them and stuff as well. Because obviously at the moment with debug, you can't delete them. You can't clone them. You can't like do anything to them. So I think they've basically made it so that the debugs show up as real objects in the game, which is so exciting. I want to say it's not released yet. I need to go and have a look, but I'll definitely be jumping on that as soon as it's out. And there's actually another couple. I think they also have the like cinematic camera, so like the tab mode camera, but you can have it in build mode. And I don't know why I haven't downloaded that mod yet. That's like a must. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely starting to get there with tool mod. And for those of you that have been watching for a while, you'll know that the tool mod has been a struggle of mine. So practice is everything, I guess, and I'm getting there slowly but surely. And as I say, the little trick with the shelves and then the trick with the coffee cups, I felt like I was making progress. I'm like super proud of myself that I could do that. So probably a minor thing, and people do way more incredible things with the tool mod, but that was a big achievement for me. And I think this might be another kitchen with no fridge. So again, I don't know what I was doing. Like, I don't know why fridges have just become completely irrelevant to me. And I don't know where I'm going to put one either. I'm going to have to try and figure it out. I guess I could put one in the corner there where that like tall china cabinet is. But I've just completely forgotten that fridges exist. I don't know what I'm doing. Too busy like decorating and cluttering things up to remember to put fridges in. I mean, I have bathrooms, I have toilets, I have beds. I have even put like bins down, which I always forget about the bins. So how I forgot about fridges, I don't know, but I will have to go back in and fix that. I wish I had realised that before I uploaded that to the gallery, because it's a little bit embarrassing, but it's fine. Probably no one will have seen it by the time I go in and fix it, so I think we'll be okay. So you can see now I am working on the right hand side house, which is the more traditional one. So I didn't want to make it like super old lady, or like, I didn't want to make it look like it hadn't been thoughtfully decorated, or that it wasn't cared for. So it's not like all old, like dirty stuff. It's still nicely decorated. It's just not modern. And so I've used like a slightly older, like more traditional style of kitchen, and a little like table and chairs. And as I said, this Sim in my mind loves her cats. So she's got like a little notice board there, and then she's got like 4 different cat bowls. And you'll see when we get to the bedroom, she's got 2 giant pet beds, which are actually just the round pet bed that I sized up because it looks super like plush and comfy. I don't know if they can actually use it when it's sized up, but it looks cute. So if you play with this at this house, you can let me know. But yeah, I gave her the little tiny living TV cabinet and some wall art, and just trying to make it cozy without making it like completely hideous. I don't know. Sometimes I think that if you try and make them for like an elder sim, they end up being not nice houses. So I was trying to find a balance. And then I gave her a little game table because I figured she'd probably have her friends over to play like bridge or, you know, whatever other kind of, and Don't Wake the Llama in Sims World, I'm sure. And then I realised I didn't have a cat tree. And I figured that's probably like, you know, she would rather her cats were comfortable than that she was. So I gave the cats the nice view at the window. And then the games table's up against the wall because the cats are the priority in this house. The cats 100% come first. So they've got this giant cat tree in front of the window. And then they actually have 2 litter boxes as well. So I put one in this little corner here. And they also have one in the bathroom because, you know, the cats are just as important as people when it comes to bathroom space. So yeah, that's most of the downstairs done, or like the first floor done. And then I went upstairs and I just changed the layout to be the same as the other house. So I made it 2 bigger bedrooms because, as I said, this was also going to be like a student like dorms, and then I changed my mind. And then I knew I wanted to do a kids room because I knew I wanted to do like have her like, I don't think her grandkids live with her, but I think maybe she looks after them. So like say like a couple of days a week or at the weekend or something, her grandkids come and stay with her, and that's like a really big part of her life is when her grandkids come over and stay. So I gave them the front bedroom, and then she's got the back bedroom. Just the shape of it is better for a double bed. So And again, I gave her slightly more traditional furniture, but I still think it's a nice bedroom. I just didn't do it like overly as modern. And then I gave her a dresser that's really cluttered, and it's got like the little Parenthood like flower vase that's made of like the lollipop sticks. Because I figured maybe her like grandkids had made it for her. And I was just really trying to think of the story. I'm trying more when I build to think about who I'm building it for, because I find it makes the decorating like way easier. So I've been trying more to think about who I'm decorating for, I guess. And you can see here again, I'm trying to use a shred shelf and it was just not being my friend. So I ended up just placing things. Sometimes this is easier if you can place things on a surface like that and then just drag them to, into the empty space and then put the surface back. So I did a nice like cluttered dresser there. And then here's the giant pet beds. So I ended up moving the door so I could make room for the pet beds. And I was going to have them overlapping, but they don't really look right. So I ended up putting one kind of under the bed, because I know cats love to hide under the bed, and then one under the dresser. And I wanted it to be, she like 100% prioritizes the cat, and I think that's really sweet. So that was me too. When I had cats, they were 100% like in charge. And then I did the bathroom, and this is more of like a kind of family bathroom, I guess. Again, because she has her grandkids over and they'll be having like bubble baths and stuff, I wanted to make it not as modern. So it's still a nice bathroom, but it's just a little bit more kind of family oriented. And then we have the cat litter tray, and then I put the little the toy basket on top of the litter tray, which in hindsight is maybe not super sanitary, but I figured like if the kids are in the bath, they have toys to play with, so that's why I put that there. So I think Ashley's quite cute, and it sort of hides the cat tray a little bit, but yeah, it means the kids have like loads of toys to play with in the bath, because I think that's what kids like. And then here I'm working on the sort of fake bunk beds, which I haven't done before, but I had seen them in a couple of like videos recently and thought, presumably the bottom one, I haven't actually playtested it, but I'm assuming that the bottom bed is still functional because there's nothing in the way of it necessarily. And I'm sure I was watching a video, and I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that, it used to, if you had the beds above each other, it would block the bottom one, but now it doesn't. So I just used the bookcases and the beds. I think these are maybe Parenthood, or are these base game beds? I'm not sure. And then just the matching bookcases and stuff to try and blend it in. And then I was trying to use a pull ladder there, and it just was like floating. It wasn't the right size. So I had the idea to use these shelves, which again are from the same kind of set that match the bed, and just put them up the wall like that, and it kind of looks like stairs. So I was quite pleased with that. I thought it looked kind of cool. And I didn't want to put them in front of the bed because, as I said, I wanted the bottom one to be functional if possible. So there's at least 2 beds in this room. Obviously the top bunk doesn't work, but it looks cool. And then I put like toy boxes, and I just thought these kids would be so spoiled by grandma, like have all the toys, have the best room. They like love coming to stay here because they like have such a great time at grandma's house. And I just was really enjoying the story. So I wanted to give them like a really fun room with loads of toys and a big dinosaur and just like an awesome kids room, really. And I really don't build kids rooms that often. So I had a lot of fun like decorating something a bit different. And then you saw in the basement of the more modern house, there was a gym and a laundry room and then like a ping pong table. And in the basement of the older house, I did a laundry room as well. But I then decided that grandma would have some like hobbies. So you can see there on the left that they've got the gym and the laundry room and then the ping pong table. So I did a laundry room in the same place because I figured a laundry room is always handy to have, and in the basement's probably a sensible place for it. But then I thought she would maybe have, sort of have crafts or hobbies. I was going to put a game table down here, but because I managed to fit it upstairs, I ended up using some of the eco lifestyle stuff. So she's got like the candle making station and the juice fizzing thing and a flower arranging bench, I think. Just so she's got somewhere to go down and like do her little crafts. And then I also gave her a gardening space outside. So that side of the house has more like land along the side of the build. So I put some planters, the hose, just like a little outdoor garden. And I used these eco lifestyle vertical planters just so that, she's not really got much outside space, but she's got a little area that she can do gardening and stuff in. So yeah, I think they came out really cute, and I like that. As I said, they're really, really similar, but the insides are totally different, and I think it's just like a really cool effect. And I'm really happy with how they came out. I think they came out super cute, and they're actually quite close to the pictures, so I'm pleased with that. So we're coming up on the screenshots. I'm going to go ahead and cut off right here. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all that fun YouTube stuff. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!